Hello everyone, my name is Trevor, I go by TheMrTrails, welcome to the channel, and in today's video we have the 1.9.1 patch notes for you guys. We didn't get a test for this patch, so this is pretty much my live reaction here. I did look at a couple of things, but most of this is brand new to me. Even though we don't have the gameplay, I wanted to go over this with you guys since, you know, there's going to be a patch tomorrow, there's going to be downtime, and best explain it, right? Consider dropping a like for me and subscribing to the channel if you are new around here. So for starters here, we have a couple of room requests coming out for a Savit helmet and a Savit chestplate transmog. Basically just an upgraded cosmetic version of the Savit armor. From February 10th to February 17th, we are going to be having the Saints Bond event. We're going to be getting some new cosmetics, some new quests, and it looks like we are going to be getting the event pass for the Saint Bond armor, so look out for that. For those that don't know, an event pass is basically just a secondary hunt pass that you can buy, like on the hunt pass page. It will say select active hunt pass and you can buy it from there. One question somebody did have about event passes was, since hunt passes are going to be permanent now, are event passes also going to be permanent? So I'll check with the devs on that, or I believe there was an event pass active not too long ago. If somebody bought that, they could answer that. And some more island event rebalancing coming to this patch. We had the first wave of this coming in 1.9.0. I think that was mainly positive stuff, and we'll check out what else is coming in this 1.9.1 right now. So their balance section, this is kind of what I skimmed through earlier, and I kind of disagreed with a couple of things. So already we are seeing a nerf to the Frostwolf weapon unique effect and the Savit weapon unique effect. Frostwolf weapon unique effect, 70 instead of 100. You know, that's a 30% nerf to something that was kind of barely outperforming some other things. I don't think it remotely needed a nerf, because I think with that Pangar takes the lead again, and if it were like 90 or 85, you might have like a back and forth situation between the two, but I think at 70 I think Pangar wins over this. I could be wrong, I didn't do any math to back this up, but I feel like nerfing it by 30%, I feel like Pangar takes over this. So for this Savit weapons, they only decreased the base damage on the power surged weapon bond, and it's only by about 7%. That's honestly not too huge. I don't see this making any sort of difference in terms of shock unique effects at all, because all of the other shock unique effects suck. We finally see a Bastion buff in this patch. The shield's going from 150% to 175% in this patch. I think this is sort of to compensate for the fact that they have now hard capped Guardian and Cascade. Do I think this even puts Bastion on the level of Tempest? No, because they also buffed Tempest to go from 400 to 450 base damage. Tempest looks a little bit more appealing. I still don't know if it's necessarily going to be a top tier option. I don't know if it still competes with Revenant and Discipline at this point. But here's one where I'm just really confused. Decreased Revenant's per orb health regen from 125 to 115. This doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. If they're concerned about damage output, then this doesn't do anything to that, pretty much. Like, the only reason to do this is if it's overperforming in casual play, like, a lot. I'm guessing the reason for this is kind of because of tough. Like, a lot of people were running tough Revenant, especially when it first came out. So this 125 was actually more like 200 per orb, I think. I don't know, that's the only reason I can see them doing this. But again, if it was damage output related, then this literally does absolutely nothing. It only pretty much nerfs casual play. And then we have another round of Discipline nerfs. We'll see how this affects Discipline versus Revenant in the meta, because they nerfed the crit chance and damage bonus of the just overall blanket passive from 10% to 8%. And then the cooldown time on the activation ability went up to 17 seconds, and that's pretty bad. I don't think this is a huge difference in casual play, but I think in solo trials this is really annoying. You know, we'll see how this affects it. Was Discipline the best Omnicell choice? Yes, but I feel like you didn't really have to nerf Discipline further. I feel like you could have just buffed the other Omnicells to like sort of try to catch up with it, which is sort of what they tried to do here. This is not nearly enough of a buff to Bastion. Tempest, it might be... you might be having somewhat of a conversation in casual play. I think in trials, just staying damage and attack speed focused is way too much to ask to invest some move speed for Tempest. But, you know, when you're going through escalations, you have bonus move speed through your talent trees, so Tempest is looking like a better option there. So Ember Mania, I actually did one of these pretty recently on the alt account. That video is going to be coming out relatively soon. So it looks like what they did here is basically just remove the modifiers and just have double Ember mains, which I can agree with that. I do actually have a clip from that of a Styxian hopping on me right after I killed the behemoth. It was in the death animation immediately after the Styxian hops on me. I think they need to fix their despawn logic. Unrelated to this, but you know, it's good to see that they're trying to limit the amount of modifiers that we're actually having and just focus on the behemoths, which I think is a good thing. Blast Zone, I forget what island this is on, but I believe this is on one of the really early islands. And again, it just looks like they're trying to consolidate what actually happens in these events and just focus on the behemoths. Formageddon, I believe this was on a couple of islands. This was at the very least on the Rezikiri Island. So they say they reduced it from 4 to 3 stages. I swear I've gotten 5 on this before. They've added Savit to the spawn pool. Ew, stage 2 is now guaranteed a Rezikiri or Valimir. Where's the Valimir fixes, man? I don't get the wording here for stage 3, but what I think it's saying is you can get either 2 Rezikiri or a Rezikiri and a Valimir. I don't know, that still just sounds kind of painful to me. Rock and Roll, the Skarn and Grukruks event, looks like it's going to be moved specifically to Paradox Breaks. These will only have single behemoth rounds. It's not going to be just Skarn anymore. It's going to be having a Phalanx or Deep Frost Skarn as well. This sounds interesting. Primal Containment modifier and Elder Spikes modifier. Probably have to check that out. I don't know if I've ever even seen those. Maybe that's a early Radiant Escalation modifier that they're putting in the game. The Melting Point events, I think maybe this was on Hades Reach, but they basically consolidated the modifiers on that. I don't know why they would ever think to give Hellion more health in any event, but never do that because Hellion has way too much HP as it is. At least the Scorched Stone Hellion. Toxic Behavior, I believe this was on Blazeworks. Removed all neutral behemoths, added Koshai, removed Smollusks, and increased behemoth variety for the final duo fight. Alright, they don't give us examples, but I imagine, yeah, it's basically just getting rid of fauna and stuff. And Poison Personality, I believe this was on the Blazeworks as well. It looks like they only just guaranteed what modifiers are round 1 and round 2. Maybe they were random before, I'm not exactly sure. Couldn't tell I'm not really huge on playing island events myself. This is the Bastion buff we really needed. Active ability sound effects have been refined. So I didn't even think of this interaction, Aegis plus Sturdy. It seems like they have made it so Aegis will now proc before Sturdy so that you don't eat them at the same time. And the Terra Elemental proc has been fixed. Treasure Hunter's Hat Transmog now comes with hair. They said it was a bug. I personally don't think it was a bug, but you know what? Sure, okay. What I think here is that they are finally going to be having to listen to the community about give us hair on hats. Literally no hat has hair. I don't know if this change will make that happen for other hats, but hopefully we will get at least an option to have hair on other hats, you know, like whether it be an additional transmog of that sort, or if it's like the Fortnite cosmetic system where when you click on your cosmetic, then you have options to select which style of cosmetic you want to wear, and then you select the option and you wear it. Meter no longer resets when using Chain Slam while momentum is less than 4. I believe what this means is that the excess meter, so if you had 3.5, it would consume all 3.5. And I think what this means now is it will only consume the 3 momentum, and then the half momentum will still be there when you go to attack. I think that's what they're trying. So I don't know if they're talking about just a general issue where they wouldn't generate momentum whatsoever, or if they're talking about specifically where you have like 99% meter to your next momentum and you do an attack that would put it at like, say, you know, the next 30% plus a pip, but it would just hit the next pip and then not give you that extra 30% meter. I don't know if they're referring to that or just a general bug where they just don't even generate momentum at all. I talked to Ors to see if that extra meter not generating past the pip was intentional, and from what he said, it sounded like it was intentional, but that's the dumbest fucking idea if it is, because, you know, Energized doesn't help with that then. Your Slayer's Path upgrade doesn't help with that then. You should be rewarded for having extra meter generation, right? Ooh, there we go. Removed an exploit where the sword's special meter remained after changing equipment. Kind of found this. They weren't happy about the video I posted about it, but whatever. Honestly, that's the fastest they've ever responded to one of my bug reports. And it couldn't be used in trials, so the only victim was actual hunting ground behemoths, so I felt like it was fine. And now it looks like the hunger special will end when you've killed the last behemoth or fauna or whatever, so you stop losing health. Now, I would hope with that the meter stays where it is and not just reset to 0, but from what I can assume, it's going to reset to 0, and that's going to be kind of bad. And from what they say, there was a bug regarding the seasonal challenges. There were only like 5 or 6 in your week 1 and 2, Apparently that was a bug. There still should be like the 10 or 12 that should be there. So they fixed that in this one, and of course moving forward they're gonna have the proper amount of seasonal challenges. So that should be about it for this. Let's go over to the Favreau. If you didn't see the roadmap update video from last time, we're basically not going to get like a major patch probably until about March when we get our new Radiant variants. We are going to start testing a couple of these things soon. While I can't obviously share gameplay or specific information, if you want to probe my mind about how these are going, you know, head to the Twitch, head to the Discord server, wherever. But yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for this video. Thank you guys again for watching. Once again, consider dropping a like for me, subscribing if you're new. Those two things are free and they help me out tremendously. That's like honestly the best thing you could do. But yeah, I've been Trevor. I go by the Mr. Trails, and I will catch you guys next time.